Hey, welcome to the channel. 27 years ago, I invented the coaster, and ever since then, I've noticed some pretty strange things. It all began back in 2004, with a young Brad glued to his cable television screen, watching an advertisement for the new show, Ghost Hunters.
I heard a man running up the stairs. Like boom, 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 the weight.
What?
And I was just like, okay, that's it.
This is going to be the best show ever. And just like that, me and my family were hooked. This was an amazing new show with this really cool and novel idea. I remember back then hearing people every now and then say, "Oh, I hear this weird thing in my house," or "Oh, I saw this thing at someone else's house." And now we finally had a show, had something to go out into these ordinary people's houses and say, "Hey, can we find anything? Is it as crazy as you say? Is it more than you say? Is it less than you say?" And for how young I was, this was one of the coolest things I felt I had ever seen up to this point in time. Alright, Mr. Johnson, have a seat right there. You'll be happy to hear that you are not crazy. There is a ghost in this house. We believe it is demonic, highly dangerous. Thanks for the footage. We're all moving out. If you end up continuing to have activity, want us to come back, we can certainly do that. Just let us know. Wait, you're telling me you found something here that's dangerous, demonic, it can hurt me, it can hurt my family, and you're just going to go and leave and not do anything about it? So yeah, at the end of every investigation, they always go over all the evidence that they caught, and then the show just kind of ends. It says if more activity goes on sometimes, things like that, depending on the show, depending on the formula, but I mean, like, just watch this.
So I decided to bring in 3 data loggers and set them on
So
the
they're
staircase.
showing this stuff going on, they're showing their technology.
And we had some pretty cool results that I'd like to show you.
Okay.
Alright, she's like, okay, you found something, I guess. Ghosts probably aren't real.
Oh, yeah.
That indicates a
And right there, oh yeah? She's like, wait, hold on, what? You caught what here? Where we're at right now. So you have a show like Ghost Hunters, especially the early seasons, and they almost strictly just record and document the evidence that they capture. Not a whole lot outside of that, at least from what I can recall. And then a lot of the other ghost shows that started popping up were just pretty much just following their same formula. Record the evidence, document, maybe present at the end everything they caught over the episode, over that night or however many nights they stay. And later on, you get some shows that really start to branch out, and especially the later seasons of Ghost Adventures, they start dealing with some things that I really don't think they should be, and have no idea what they're getting themselves into. So this is probably the peak of Ghost Adventures, not knowing what they're doing, getting themselves into a awful situation. They basically agree with the people of this house to do a summoning ritual to try and stir up activity, but they don't really know the guy that owns the place that's doing this ritual. They don't really know what the ritual's about. The guy ends up messing up the ritual, and for those of you who know anything about this type of stuff, messing up what you're doing is a billion times worse than getting it right. And it's kind of a mess. Just watch this.
It is now time for us to begin the summoning ceremony to see whether or not we can document hard, concrete evidence while under these very suspicious circumstances, which also makes this dangerous for us.
They know this is a bad situation. And that guy right there blowing the horn, he's the owner of the house. They kind of just met him during this episode, and for some reason this guy's like, "Hey, I do this type of thing, activity," and they're like, "Oh yeah, sure, let's do it, man." if you light a candle and say, I'm a little baby 3 times fast, I can do things too. What? No, get out of here. Aw, man. Jeez, is that ghost stupid or something? Ugh. I'll get you at the end of the video. Yeah, that was weird. Anyways, another show that kind of followed the Ghost Hunters formula was Haunted Collector. It didn't have much to make itself stand out from a lot of the other paranormal ghost shows going on at the time, but it definitely ended with a lot more closure, I guess you could say. It was a little strange. Basically, this guy went out with his team or whatever, investigated, and at the end they would be like, hey, we think you have an object that a ghost is attached to, and we want to take it with us. Can we do that? Can we just take that off your hands real quick? And of course, a lot of the times the person owning the house or wherever it was like, yeah, we called you here because we don't want a ghost, so if you think that the ghost is attached to this like hairbrush, yeah, we can buy another one for $5. That's no big deal. All yours. So, to me, one of the weirdest things about this show is somehow I can't remember a single episode where by the end of the episode they didn't say, yes, your ghost is attached to this item. It is right here. If we take it out of the house, your ghost is gone with us. And that just doesn't sound quite right to me. Maybe that's just me, but here's just like a little bit of a preview of it, I guess. So it's on Sci-Fi. This right here gets me. How to handle a haunted object. They never once go over how to handle it. At least not that I remember. That was never a big focus on the show, and this right here makes it sound like it was a big focus on the show, how to properly handle a haunted object. No, maybe they use gloves before touching it every now and then. I don't know. Pay no attention to that. Identify the haunted object, which, yes, they did do. Again, they didn't really go over it in the show much, but they would use like EMF detectors and stuff like that and be like, whoa, we got a spike on our meters. That tells us this rocking chair, there's a ghost sitting in it. And if there's a ghost sitting in a rocking chair, I mean, everybody just knows. That means the ghost is attached to the rocking chair. Rocking chair's out of here, ghosts out of here. Ghosts don't leave rocking chairs. Research it. That was never part of the show. They never really researched the objects. They just kind of took them back to their museum, to their collection, whatever it was, and they would supposedly test it more there. We never really got much from that. And get rid of it. Yeah, they would just take the object with them. That part's accurate. Yeah, Haunted Collector, interesting show. That guy right there with the white beard. Hey man, I found this funny looking thing. Why don't we tell him this is haunted? I want to keep it. Look at that. So there are 2 more shows that I wanted to go over before I end the video. The first one is The Dead Files. It is probably the one that most uniquely sets itself apart from the typical Ghost Hunters formula that kind of founded the formula for all these ghost shows. Essentially, you have a psychic medium who can see ghosts, talk to them, do all this stuff, and a retired homicide investigator. Essentially, the whole shtick of the show is they don't meet through the whole investigation. The investigator goes through to libraries, finds all the stuff, finds out the past of the property, sees if there's anything that might have been traumatic in the past that could potentially be causing the haunting. He also does goes out with like plumbers and stuff to the place and sees if there's anything that could be causing these weird sounds, causing these hallucinations, whatever it may be. And then the psychic medium goes into the house after dark. She's allowed to walk around and say, oh, hey, I'm getting a really weird-looking old man. He's wearing a cowboy hat. I don't know what that means, but he's saying stay away from the garage because there's something bad in there. And by the end of these episodes, they'll meet up with the owner of the house. Usually it's going to be the psychic presenting her information first, still kind of a Ghost Hunters-esque formula, and she'll be saying what she got, and then periodically the investigator will come in saying, well, actually it's interesting that you mentioned this, I found so-and-so, and all this stuff, and it usually is supposed to add up in a really weird way by the end of the video. Pretty good. The thing that really makes this stand out, closure-wise, as opposed to a lot of other ghost shows, is the psychic medium will say, oh, hey, here's the stuff that's here. You need this specific thing to get rid of it. Very rarely will she be the one to get rid of it or have people that she knows come in to get rid of it. In a lot of cases, she will look them dead in the eye and say, you need to find a 5'8" male vegan warlock who has dealt with witches in the past, who knows all this stuff and needs to do this very specific kind of ritual. If you can get all that going, if you can make this happen, your ghost gone. And it is very funny to me how often by the end screen it says the people in the house still have activity and they are still looking for a 5'6" vegan male warlock.
Okay, now here I encountered an individual that did concern me. It's a male. He was dressed strangely. The best way I can describe it is kind of as a jester, but fancier. He was from quite some time ago.
Fancy jester from quite some time ago. So the last show that I really wanted to review is the one that I think that the least people are going to know about, and it is called Ghostbait. Basically, the hosts of the show go into this location with a person who's like terrified of the area. It's their home, it's somewhere they've been around, something like that. And they put a bag over their head. They walk them right to the middle of the scariest place that they find in the area, and they're like, we're gonna have you sit right here. We're gonna walk back to safety where there's no ghosts around, and we got a walkie-talkie, so if it gets scary, you can tell us. And the whole premise of this show, the entire thing they get at, is they're trying to, I think, say, if you can get over your fear of the ghost and over your fear of this area, there's going to be no more activity. And if you know anything about ghosts or the paranormal or anything like that, what they're doing is they're putting a terrified person in a terrifying situation, and a lot of negative entities and stuff like that are known to just thrive off of fear and basically essentially gain power off of fear. So, in my opinion, they are making the ghost as strong as it possibly wants to be by doing this, and it's almost hilarious how bad this is. Just give me 1 second. Thank you for giving me that second. So here is Ghostbait. Here is the canvas sack around her head so that she cannot see what is going on around her. This looks like it's straight out of a horror movie, but this is a TV show of a ghost hunting group trying to get activity. And it seems like they try and make it as like scary and weird and menacing as possible, and just listen to this.
And we've placed surveillance cameras in here so that we can see you.
There's cameras around.
We also put a walkie next to you.
Walkie-talkie.
So we'll be able to speak with you and walk you through the process.
Walk
and
her
we will
through
be
the
able to
process.
hear you as well, so you can speak to us. We've placed 2 EMF meters on either side of you.
Okay.
And when they have a reading that tells us that there's something here with you, you'll hear a beep. If you hear something in the room, if you're feeling like you're being touched, anything you feel, let us know. And the last... Last thing that's important for you to know is nobody will be down here with you.
Okay.
Alright, so we're placing you in a basement. We're putting a sack over your head. We got a walkie-talkie, so if you get scared, you can tell us and we can hear you scream. We put 2 EMF sensors around you. They make a lot of noise when stuff moves around. Sometimes even just hitting your feet on the ground can make them go off. So all you're doing is setting her up to be listening for the slightest thing and just be terrified. Then you say, oh yeah, by the way, there is definitely not a human being down here, so if you hear anything, good luck figuring out what it was. And now this is possibly my favorite part right here. What's about to
Just a few
happen?
moments to get to our monitor.
Okay.
Alright.
They're standing up. They're walking away. They're getting to safety. They are leaving her there. Look, they're set up in like a little nice gymnasium. They're just leaving her. She's borderline hyperventilating. She is terrified out of her mind. Well, maybe that's an exaggeration. It could be the knapsack just like overheating her. But anyways, this was a televised show. So, how is this supposed to help again? Hello? Hello? So, I guess what I'm really trying to get in this video, other than the fact that I really like ghost shows, is they all end in these weird ways, whether you believe in ghosts or not. Either they find activity there and they do nothing about it, they do a ritual and make the activity a lot worse, they steal from the homeowners to some degree, they ask if they can take it, but they still take their items, or they put a sack over their head and put them in like some weird kidnapping-based situation. It's so weird and funny to me how it's just so all over the place. And I don't know of any show that consistently goes out there, identifies like, okay, there's something here, let's deal with it, and they actually deal with it in an effective and good manner. I really appreciate you all for watching this video. I hope to see you all in the next one. I'm my biggest fan. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you want to, if you liked it. I hope to see you all in the next one. Hello? Is anyone there? Hello? Anybody? Ah!